Mula Luzon hanggang Mindanao,
Naharap sa ED,
naimbag ko ti aldaw mo,
maayong adlaw sa tanan,
at isang makakalikasang araw sa lahat. Nasasabi ka ba sa bagong kaalaman na matutuklasan tungkol sa pag-aaral ng agham pangkaligaran? Alamin natin yan ng sabay-sabay kasama ang ating masigasig na resource speaker sa araw na ito. Ang Pandayang Youth-Led Nature-Based Solution ay hatid sa inyo ng Philippine Association of Environmental Science Students.
isang makakalikasang araw sa lahat, isang karangalan na maglingkod bilang inyong host sa hapon na ito. Ako si Serena Zane P. Barrios mula sa Cavite State University, kasalukuyang associate ng Membership Welfare and Involvement Committee ng Philippine Association of Environmental Science Students.
At ako naman, si Martina Victoria M. Cabrera mula rin sa Cavite State University, kasalukuyang associate ng Regional Office Luzon ng Philippine Association of Environmental Science Students.
Bago naman tayo magpatuloy, sa mga nagnanais ng e-certificates, maaari kayong makakuha neto matapos ang webinar. Just fill in the evaluation form na ilalagay sa ating comment section ng FB page live webinar maya-maya. Paalala na ang evaluation form ay bukas lamang mamaya hanggang bukas, alas 8 ng gabi.
Ngayon, hayaan nyo naman kaming ipakilala ang aming organisasyon. Sino o ano nga ba ang PAES? Kami ang samahan ng mag-aaral ng Agham Pangkaligaran ng Pilipinas at kung nais nyo namang makiisa sa amin o maging kabilang sa aming samahan ng Agham Pangkaligaran ng Pilipinas o PAES, ay malugod po namin kayong tinatanggap. We are the National Association of Organization from both undergraduate and graduate levels of degree programs aligned, related, or equivalent to environmental sciences and environmental management. Tinatanggap din po namin yung mga organisasyon mula sa environmental engineering, environmental planning, environmental biology, at marami pang iba. At kung nais nyo namang maging kasapi ng aming samahan o meron kayong mga katanungan, maaari kayong magpadala ng email sa membership.paes@gmail.com.
Ipinagmamalaki rin ng Philippine Association of Environmental Science Students ang member local organizations. Makikita natin kung gaano na kalawak ang narating ng aming samahan sa buong Pilipinas. Makikita rito ang mga organisasyong kasapi ng PAES mula sa iba't ibang universidad mula Ilocos Sur hanggang Zamboanga del Sur. Para sa karagdagang detalye, i-follow ang PAES sa Instagram at @nbisay_students_ph para sa mga larawan at kwento sa buhay NBisay. Sa YouTube naman, @Environmental Science Students PH. Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe, like, share at i-turn on ang notification bell para updated kayo sa bagong episodes.
At ngayon naman, atin nang kilalanin ng ating mga bagong miyembro ng ating organisasyon. Ikinagagalit po namin ipakilala sa inyong lahat ang Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Colleges INC BS Environmental Science Organization. Magandang hapon po para sa ating mga bagong miyembro at kaway-kaway naman po tayo para sa kanila.
Isang mainit po na pagbati sa inyong lahat. Maligayang pagdating po sa pamilyang Paes.
Yes naman. Kaya ngayon, atin naman pong kilalanin ng aktibong partisipasyon ng ating mga Youth for Environment in School Organization or YESO Media Partners mula sa Ramona Estrellana High School, San Jose National High School, Luis Waifer Junior West National High School, Bagong Bayan National High School, Tarlac National High School, at Balagtas National Agricultural High School. Maraming salamat po sa inyong dedikasyon at patuloy na pagsuporta sa aming advokasya para sa pangangalaga ng kalikasan at kabataan.
At ito na nga, amin ang inaihahandog ang isang programa ng PAES, ang Pandayan Youth-Led Nature-Based Solutions. Para sa ating presentation outline, mayroon tayong baselining using Mentimeter, opening remarks and introduction of research speakers, presentation, Q&A, and some announcements.
Kaya naman natin ang simulan para sa ating baselining. Maaari niyo pong buksan ng inyong mga browser and just search menti.com at i-type ang code na 84124109. Or you can scan the QR code na makikita natin sa ating mga screen. Again, pumunta lamang sa menti.com at i-type ang code na 84124109.
Binabati ko ang mga manonood natin mula sa ating Facebook Live. Pwede na po kayo pumunta sa ating menti.com at i-type ang code na 84124109. Sagutin lamang ang tanong na maaari nyo ring sagutin sa aming comment section.
Ayun na nga, kitang-kita yun. Puwede na pong pumunta o pumasok sa menti.com ang ating mga kalahok po.
Yes.
Pero siyempre habang hinihintay natin sila partner, kilalanin muna natin yung isa't isa, 'di ba? So, partner, sa'yo, ano yung pinaka-memorable experience mo or may na-experience ka ba sa pagsali sa isang environmental activity during your like high school or senior high school?
Recently, ako ay sumali sa ating Sagip Ilog, and that was a really fun experience. Wow. And ang dami kong masyadong nakita, natutunan. Wow. That's all. Ikaw ba partner, ano ba yung memorable mo sa pagsali since ang dami mong sinalihan?
Ay grabe, hindi naman onti lang yun, humble. Pero sa'kin naman siguro, pinaka-memorable sa'kin is yung pag-join talaga coastal cleanup. I'm very excited lagi 'pag sumasali ako sa coastal cleanup kasi parang alam mo yung ibang-iba kasi yung feeling 'pag coastal na, yung nalilinis, andun mo talaga makikita yung mga, basura talaga na inaagos dun sa mga dagat, 'di ba? So, parang para sa'kin 'pag sumasali ako sa mga coastal cleanup drive is, very memorable siya sa'kin. Ayun, partner.
So, andiyan na ba ang ating mga kasagutan? Wow.
Andiyan na ba? Ayun. Pero before tayo mag-start, shoutout muna sa ating mga, university. Meron akong nakikita sa ating FB Live na mga, from Mindanao State University, Cavite State University, and Pampanga State University. And meron din tayong mga nanonood from high school po.
And
Welcome
shout out
po.
sa ating YesO, mga YesO
Yes.
officers here. Hello po sa inyo. Kaway-kaway naman.
Ayun. So may 45 joiners na tayo sa ating menti.com. I think puwede na tayong magsimula.
Yeah.
Ayun nga,
Ayan.
sa unang katanungan ay nasaang probinsya ka ba ngayon? Ayun,
Laguna,
from Laguna. Ay,
Marinduque.
Marinduque.
Kaway-kaway sa inyo. Tarlac, shout
Okey.
out.
Bulacan, may mga
Yes,
taga-Bulacan.
Zamboanga
Cavite,
City.
Zamboanga
Cavite.
City.
Hello mga Caviteños.
Yes, mga kababayan natin.
Yes, Misamis Oriental.
Oo,
Hello po sa
parang
inyo.
madami-dami ang mga participants natin sa Misamis Oriental,
Dito natin makikita kung gaano na tayo kalawak, kung gaano na tayo, saan na sige dun tayo. Kung gaano natin, um, nakikita or dumadaloy. Parang sige yun na yun. Nakikita ko na saan tayo ngayon.
Ayun na nga, ang dami na nga nila,
Ayan, ang
may
dami
taga
niyo sa inyo.
Rizal.
Hello po sa inyo, shout out.
Shoutout po! Zamboanga, Sibugay, wow! Ang layo na, ha? Ano yun, Naawan, Misamis Oriental, meron din, NCR. Mga Misamis Oriental, feeling ko ang dami nating taga Misamis Oriental. Ayun na nga. I think next question na tayo. Shoutout po sa ating mga participants. Para naman po sa ating unang katanungan, kaya ba daw ng mga kabataan mag-lead sa nature-based solution? Ayun, may mga respondents na tayo. 17, 19, at may isang pwede. 24, 29, 31. Ang dami. Kaya daw. Kaya talaga ng mga kabataan.
Okay, para sa ating pangalawang question naman. Sa tingin mo, alin ang pinaka-effective na youth-led nature-based solution sa pagtugon ng environmental problems? Ano kaya ito? Ang una ay mangrove reforestation, tree growing, urban o community gardening, C, waste to resource project, eco bricks, upcycling and composting, and the D was climate education and environmental advocacy.
Yun na nga,
Makikita dito. Okay, dalawa ating, pinaglalaban na sagot. Wow.
nangunguna. Sino ang nangunguna? Ang letter D. Ayan, humahabol ang letter A. Yun nga. Ayun, ang letter A natin ay humahabol. So, tayo po ang A and D po natin. I think
Ibig
next,
sabihin lang yan partner na lahat sila ay importante.
yes,
Pinaka-effective talaga sila.
yes. Ayun na nga. So, I think pwede na tayong mag-next question. Ayun naman, sa ating pangatlong katanungan ay youth-led nature-based solution are not just a trend, they are, ano nga ba? A, necessity, B, the future, and present, C, youth power in action, D, all of the above. Ano nga ba ang sagot dyan sa katanungang iyan? Ayun nga, all of the above daw, sabi nila. Merong mga sumagot ng B, the future and present. Meron ding sumagot ng A, necessity at C, youth power in action. Pero talagang makikita na all of the above daw siya. Ayun na nga. I think okay na, nakasagot na ata ang ating mga participants. And dito po nagtatapos ang ating baselining. Kaya naman, muling paalala po, mayroon tayong webinar e-certificate. I-comment nyo lamang inyong pangalan at universidad sa ating FB Live comment section and fill in the evaluation form na ibibigay po natin pagkatapos ng ating webinar. Open po ito mamaya hanggang bukas alas 8 ng gabi.
Dito nagtatapos sa ating baselining at tayo naman dumako na sa ating opening remarks. Sa kasalukuyan, ramdam natin ang epekto ng climate change, pagbaha, matinding init at pagkasira ng kalikasan. Marami ang naapektado, ngunit hanggang kailan tayo mananatiling tagamasid na lamang. Kaya ang ating paksa ngayong araw ay ang youth-led nature-based solutions, mga solusyong pangkalikasan na pinangungunahan ng kabataan upang tugunan ang mga hamong pangkapaligiran. Ipinapakita nito na ang kabataan hindi lamang pag-asa ng bayan, kundi aktibong bahagi ng solusyon ngayon.
Kaya naman, atin nang kilalanin ng panauhing tagapagsalita ngayong araw. Siya ay nagtapos sa programa ng Bachelor in Landscape Architecture mula sa University of the Philippines, Diliman at may Master of Science degree in Environmental Science sa University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Ang mga interest niya naman ay equitable access to urban green space for mental well-being, landscape design for animal welfare, and blue-green infrastructure. Kasalukuyan rin siyang nagtatrabaho bilang senior lecturer sa UP Diliman. Kaya ano pa nga ba ang ating hinihintay? Para simulan ng ating webinar ngayong hapon, let us all formally welcome Architect Selena Balbino Santos. The screen is yours. Maaari na po kayong magsimula.
Ayan, isang magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Ayan, kailangan ko i-match yung energy ng youth para hindi halatang medyo palabas na ako sa youth. Pero, sige, let me just present my screen. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I understand meron tayo ditong mga attendees sa Zoom and pati rin sa Facebook Live. Ayan. So, okay to, marami tayo kasi mamaya may activity tayo na hinanda ko para sa inyo. So, ayan. Can everyone see my screen? Ayan, kain naman. Okay, so, background, invite ako dito actually ng aking isang former orgmate from Masters. Ayan, si Kendrick. Hi, Kendrick. Ayan, so, in-invite ako dito kasi, well, I guess nakita niyo na youth ako. But more importantly, I was talking about nature-based solutions. And I'm really happy na I get to share this with you all. And I hope na after this, mas ma-appreciate natin ang nature-based solutions and mas ma-appreciate natin ang importansya ng pagiging ng pag ng pagiging leaders, pagiging may initiative sa pag-promote ng blue-green infrastructure, no matter the age. Yeah. Okay? So, first of all, the Philippines is susceptible to disasters. This is a fact. Alam naman natin to lahat, especially in the past few months, especially last year, na maraming mga flood control projects na nabunyag, showing how we are so underprepared for these disasters, no? So nakita natin dito parang swimming pool, no? Pero hindi siya water park, hindi siya splash island. This is along a major highway. So apaka lungkot lang na ito ang ating naging normal dito sa Pilipinas tuwing may bagyo. And in fact, if you check this 2024 tropical this image, you'll see na yung mga lista, you'll see that ito yung mga dinaanan ng mga different tropical storms nung 2024 pa lang. And you can see na sangkatutak ang ating dinatnan na mga bagyo. 2024 pa lang to. And napansin na natin lahat ng 2025, and for sure in the near future, will still be susceptible to all these storms, all these typhoons. And sobrang devastating kasi it damages property, it takes away lives, takes away livelihood. And it's a very dismal scene. Ito nakita niyo sa Cebu to, I believe nung mid-2025. Totoo to, hindi to AI. Totoo tong nangyari. Nag-pile up yung mga kotse dahil sa naanod ng malakas na rumaragasa na baha. Okay? So, clearly, gray infrastructure does not effectively deal with the impacts of flood and typhoons. Okay? When we say gray infrastructure, kasi we're talking about blue-green infrastructure, we have to talk about the other color, which is gray. Infrastructure. So, ano ba ibig sabihin pag infrastructure? Pag sinasabi natin infrastructure, we mean it is something that helps facilitate the functions of a certain activity or project or such. So for example, in this Zoom webinar, ang ano ba infrastructure ko dito? Itong laptop ko, ito yung Zoom seminar ko, itong earphones ko, part to ng infrastructure. So it lets me be able to listen, isolate yung sounds niya, as well as be able to speak. And also, infrastructure. Kung wala ito, hindi tayo makapag-webinar. Meron akong backup for that. Yung data ko sa phone and meron yung pocket wifi dito. That's also part of the infrastructure. Infrastructure in yung room na to. Nakabukas ngayon yung aircon ko para hindi ako pinapawisan, para mukha pa rin ang youthful habang nag-represent. And tinapat ko talaga yung desk ko para may natural sunlight kahit papaano. So all of this is infrastructure that helps facilitate the function, which is me giving a webinar. Ayan. So, ano ibig sabihin ng infrastructure naman pagdating sa mga public works like this? Well, pagdating sa flood control, infrastructure is supposed to be a way to how we manage yung stormwater. Okay, it's supposed to be a means para ma-control natin yung pagragasa ng tubig, yung percolate niya into the water, into the groundwater, yung pag-pass through niya sa mga cities, pag-pass through niya sa mga green areas and such. However, right now, clearly hindi effective, not just because of corruption, but because of the idea of green infrastructure as the parang first and frontline na solution natin sa flooding issues such as this. Okay? So, if clearly hindi gumagana ang gray infrastructure, how else can we address yung mga flood mitigation issues natin, flood management issues? Paano kaya? Well, as our topic suggests, the title, we are going to deal with nature-based solutions, okay? Hindi to National Bookstore. This is nature-based solutions, okay? Solutions that are inspired and supported by nature, okay? Very general kung tutuusin, no, yung sound na to. Parang solutions inspired and supported by nature. Parang solutions, what kind of solutions? Well, if we say that there are solutions that are inspired and supported by nature, there are solutions that are not inspired by nature, aka green infrastructure. And nakita man natin what happens when we over-rely on this green infrastructure. Okay? So, um, let's play a game first. Okay? Sa mga Facebook Live dyan, you can comment sa sa FB Live. Ma-record naman yan and we'll have fun. Dito naman sa ating Zoom, you can comment sa ating group chat, sa ating Zoom chat para para we can participate. Okay? So sasabihin niyo lang, is this nature-based solution or is this not nature-based solution? Okay? First of all, ito. What is this and is it a nature-based solution? Go. Nature-based solution ba ito? Type nyo sa chat. Ayan. Okay, how we doing chat? Ayan. Okay? 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 Ayan. Okay, so far I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Okay. So, actually, tama kayo. Rain gardens are indeed nature-based solutions. Okay, so ano bang nature-based dito? Ano ba yung non-nature-based solutions ano ba yung mga nature, like, if rain garden is a nature-based solution, ano yung solution, ano yung problem na sinasolve niya, and ano yung non-nature-based solution na usually natin ginagamit? Well, when it comes to rain gardens, what they do is actually temporarily store nga yung water, temporarily detain nga, ganun. But not just as a parang a pool of water. Okay? It's not just a pool of water, but also plants, specifically native plants, are being used to hold the soil in place and as well as take up that water. Okay, so because remember, plants need water. And because they're native plants, they are adapted nga dun sa amount of rain that occurs in that location. So, syempre, para tong mga expat or mga immigrant na puti na pupunta sa Pilipinas tapos maiinitan sila sa 30-degree weather samantalang yung mga local na Pinoy, tara, magkape tayo. 'Di ba? Kaya dito nagkakape right now sa initan. Wild kayo. Summer na eh. Okay. So yeah, so this rain gardens are nature-based solutions because they take advantage of the natural function of native plants, which is to be adapted to the water cycle nga ng locality nila. And nangyayari dito, instead of water na all of it is on the ground, some of the water is in the plants, some of the water is percolating down. Tapos dahan-dahan siyang na-release instead of isang bagsakan. Yan. Okay, so how about this? What is this and is this a nature-based solution? What do you think? Okay, go. Type below. Comment below. Chat. Is this a nature-based solution? Yes or no? May nasabi ng half. Is it nature-based? Hmm. Ayan. Not so easy now, huh? Well, ano ba ito? Well, sabi dito sa image source, rainwater catchment system. But with the definition, indeed, rainwater catchment systems are indeed nature-based solutions. And siguro mapapaisip kayo, ano nature dito? Bakal lang ito eh. Well, technically speaking, ang bakal galing sa nature, but that's being pedantic. Ano bang nature-based dito na solution? Well, ano ba yung non-nature-based solution sa pag-manage sa stormwater? Well, sasaluhin mo lang, and then you just let it be, downspout, dun sa drainage, sa ating mga concrete drain pipes, ganon. And yun yung nakakos ng flooding. Pero kasi, if you think about it, water is a resource. And ngayon tuyot na, mas importante na may na-impok tayong water. May nai-impok tayong tubig. And the use of rainwater catchment systems such as this, even though wala tayong kitang halaman per se, it's still taking advantage of natural functions of the environment, which is yung rain, okay? And if you think about it, basically, this is like a mini watershed, no? Ang roof. Ang roof, ginamit yung mini watershed na taga-catch ng lahat ng water na nag-channel niya dito sa isang tangke where it can be reused. And the process of reusing water, that's what it's like we're emulating the water cycle. So in a way, we can see that rainwater catchment systems are indeed nature-based solutions. And how about this? What is this? And is this a nature-based solution? Yes or no? This should be easier than the rainwater catchment example. Not NBS? No, no. Sabi dito sa comments, no. Ayan. Tumpak naman kayo dyan. Dikes or embankments? No, no, no. They're not nature-based solutions. Eh, bakit kaya? Ano ba ginagawa ng dikes? Ano ba ginagawa ng embankments? Well, the theory is, dahil umaanod ang tubig sa ilog, nag-erode na-erode itong bank ng water, which causes a lot of damage. Ganun. And for a lot of engineers, inisip nila, that is a problem. How to solve that? We put some sort of armor on top of this riverbank para hindi na siya mag-erode because erosion equals bad. Na gets ko kasi mahirap magpatakbo ng mga cars, mga vehicles, mga tao kung mag-erode yung riverbank. Hindi makakadaan yung mga tao dyan. So nilagay nila yan. But the problem with this is that it's not working with nature. It's working against nature. Because believe it or not, erosion is a part of nature. Yung pag-erode ng riverbanks, that's part of the natural cycles of rivers. Okay? We've already heard that rivers migrate. And what I mean by that is, ang river, throughout the years, throughout millennium, nag-shift yan. Bakit? Kasi with each bend, may part na ma-erode, may ibang part na magde-deposit. So mangyari, through that plus-minus, may kina-carve off na lupa and may dinagdagdag na sediments na maging lupa, nag-shift yung course ng river. Kaya meron tayong mga meandering river. Ibig sabihin, matagal na sila na existing. Ibig sabihin, the natural form of rivers is meandering. This is not meandering, no? This is not meandering at all. So, ang nangyayari dito, napoprotektahan ng ang riverbanks. But actually, it's worsening the problem of flash floods and such because hindi lang naman yan nag-erode eh. Kasi when the water sa river flows through, it doesn't just hit the soil. It also hits plants, boulders, root systems, ganon. And yung kada bend, bumababa yung velocity, bumababa yung speed, which means mas nagiging less erosive actually. In other words, rivers are self-sustaining systems. They're not self-sustaining. The term is self-regulating systems. Okay, mga what we call negative feedback loop. They're self-regulating. Okay? But because we added this, nangyayari, tingnan nyo, ang smooth ang smooth ng kanyang surface. So ibig sabihin, walang interruption yung water. Ibig sabihin, mas bibilis siya, mas mag-accelerate, mas tataas yung velocity. At dahil mas mabilis siya, well, mas matindi yung effect ng flash flood. But wait, meron namang protection, di ba? True, may protection, hindi may erode. But what about downstream? Yung other LGU na walang budget for river embankment. Sila yung sasangga ng mas mabilis na tubig. Sila ang sasangga ng lahat ng sediments na mas mabilis na transfer because of this modification to the natural environment. So that's why dikes or embankments, they're not nature-based solutions because they do not work with nature. Okay, clear ba tayo dyan? Okay, how about this? Okay, what we see here and what are these? By the way, these two are my co-faculty. This our landscape architect Vic Dulaog, this landscape architect Dio Centeno. By the way, I'm a landscape architect pala. So landscape architects are, I'd say, designers, are architects, designers of the outer environment of ecosystems. Ganun. So, do you think this is a nature-based solution? Actually, ano ba to? You can comment sa below? What is this? Ano kayang system ito? Like, maraming sabi, NBS, yes, but what is it? Ano kaya siya? Mga bato-bato na nasa cage. Ayan. Okay, this is new to many people, but it's actually been used for many years na, especially sa profession namin. So these are called gabion walls, okay? Gabion walls, they're nature-based solutions. Bakit? So ano ba pigagamit natin ng gabion walls? Well, compared to embankments, yung mga concrete na embankment, we can use this instead. And ano ginagawa niya? Well, tingnan niyo yung properties niya. Ano ba siya? Basically, they are boulders, rocks in, yes, tama si yung isa dito for erosion control. They are rocks in a cage. Okay? And modular siya. So isipin mo, parang each module ng Gibeon wall, patong, patong, patong. Okay? So, dahil mabigat siya, hindi siya ano rin basta. Kasi puro bato nga yan eh. Hindi siya ano rin basta. And dahil sa kanyang nature ng kanyang shape, hindi ano siya, interlocking yan. And because it's an aggregate of rocks, not solid concrete, hindi siya swimming pool. Ibig sabihin, lulusot ang water dyan. So, isipin nyo, imbes na lulusot lang yung na dadaloy lang yung tubig dyan sa side, they're going to percolate inside that. And then pupunta siya sa groundwater into the riverbank. Okay? So it's actually working with that aspect of nature if we want to protect the slope. In addition, I mentioned earlier, ang smooth ng texture ng dikes and embankments, diba? Ito, this is pretty rough if you look at it. It's pretty rough, which means mas babagal yung anod ng water, ng river water. Which means mas babagal, which means mas mahina ang erosive impact ng rainwater, ng river water. Mas bababa yung kanyang velocity, kaya mas less likely yung flash floods. So indeed, Gibeon walls are nature-based solutions. Ayan. Okay, how about this? What are we looking at here? Ano ito at ano nangyayari? Is this nature-based solution? Sige, let's see the comments. Are they nature-based solutions? Ayan. Ayan. Okay, so maraming sabi ng yes. Okay, so tama. This is a bioswale, and these are indeed nature-based solutions. Ngayon, unlike sa others na it's more for slope protection or for collection of water. This one is for channeling water. Okay, so when we say swales, they are landform, a type of landform na parang hinulma yung land like clay, hinulma yung land na para maging channel siya. Imbes na gumagamit tayo ng mga concrete na pipes to channel the water, we use nature itself. And on these bioswales, dito pwede ilagay mga rain garden, yung mga ibang halaman, and then pwede natin i-channel sa other nature-based solutions like detention ponds, rainwater catchments. Basically, it's to transport water. Okay? And water that is here in this bioswale is water that's not passing through sa mga places where people are. Okay? So may hinandle akong project dati. So ano siya, pinag-design ako ng parking lot. Okay, parking lot, normal. Pero yung center island, ginawa kong ganito, bioswale. Kinatch ko. Because yung drainage doon needed some augmentation. Hindi lang pwede yung gray infrastructure nga. Kasi nga, bahain doon. And I wanted to prove a point na this can be integrated into projects as menial as parking lots, diba? Hindi sa parking lot, bland, mainit. But parking lots can be designed sustainably as long as we integrate yung nature-based solutions. Okay? So you can see here na yun nga, hindi babahain yung parking lot dahil ang tubig nandito sa bioswales. Yung channel niya towards the wherever the detention pond. So nakita niyo dito may drop curb, okay? Tawag dito drop curb because the name suggests it's a curb, okay? Yung ano bang parang sa bangketa, then nag-drop para mag-pass dyan yung water. And then they're gonna channel it all the way to the siguro sa detention pond or sa constructed wetlands and such. All right. Okay, so my landscape architect established na, his name is Paulo Alcazar. Maybe you saw this before na ang solution daw sa baha sa Pilipinas, sa Metro Manila ay maglagay ng isang malaking SpongeBob. Nakakatawa, no? Pero if you think about it, that's basically what you're doing if we're adding nature-based solutions. We're adding sponges. We're adding these features that help take up that water. Kasi ano ba ginagawa ng sponge? Okay? Ang ginagawa ng sponge, it takes water and then it holds it. And then kusa siyang matatanggal, either mag-drain out or mag-evaporate. Or ikaw mismo mag-squeeze, ganun. Kung kailan, ready na. Pero, the point is, it is detaining. Okay? So, with that concept, nature-based solutions entails us to design with nature. And in the context of flood control, flood management, and such, designing with nature-based solutions, through nature-based solutions entails uh, detaining water, making sure that it doesn't just uh, flow out. Ganon. We should work with nature, not against it. But before anything else, ano ba yung design? Okay? Kasi I've been mentioning here na we have to design proper nature-based solutions. We have to use nature-based solutions. And I'm sure a lot of people here, not in the construction industry, not in the development industry, that's okay. But it's still important to understand, ano ba yung design? Kasi design, inisip natin pag design, parang yung design ng ano ko, ng kwarto ko ay may maraming pink, maraming floral, ganun. And yung design ng damit ko, parang maraming ano yan, maraming mga 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 sewing work, mga embroidery, ganun. Pero ang ganong definition ng design, it's more, how do I say it? More of superficial and aesthetic. Okay, but that's not the actual meaning of design. Okay, because designing is not just making things aesthetic. Sure, it is a part of it, but that aesthetics is not just it's not just the end all. It is a clue to show that effective yung design mo kasi madali siyang intindihin. Madali siyang comprehend. What design actually is, it is problem solving. Okay? Problem solving meaning you have a problem, I create a solution. That solution is the design. Okay? And problem solving entails that we understand how things function. Okay, we cannot design let's say, we cannot design a better na takore or pangkulo ng tubig if we don't know how water boils, we don't know how electricity works, or how yung mga mechanical components work, di ba? Or thermodynamics, we have to understand first these functions before we are able to properly design a takore that solves specific problem. Whether it's mas maraming na kupakulong water na mabilis or siguro mas madaling bitbitin, ganon. Okay? Let's see. Naghanap ako ng example ng design. Let's see. Ito. Sige, itong pamaypay na to. So, I'm not sure kung kita yung screen ko. Kita naman yung screen ko, no? I mean, kita naman yung camera ko. Ayan. Kasi ito ay pamaypay. Magandang pamaypay to. Ang aso ko ngayon ay na-interest sa aking pamaypay. Hello, Dottie. Ayan. Okay. So, ang pamaypay na to mukhang simple. Parang, pag sabi natin design, parang inisip natin na itong mga embroidery na to. Yun yung design. Itong mga frills na to. Pero actually, the design here is, number one, this. Yung pagkakabit niya. Yung choice of material, that's the design. Itong choice of material ng cloth, that's the design. Yung color aesthetics na yan, but the main design is yun nga yung material choice, how it was installed together and it is all to service a function, which is to pamaypay. Okay? And maging portable as well. So yun yung design na yung kanyang problem ay how do we keep cool with a device or a tool that is portable. Ito ang solution. Okay? Tried and tested. Ngayon, pagdating sa nature-based solutions, when we design nature-based solutions, we have to understand how does the site hydrology work. When we say hydrology, we're talking about water. Paano dumadalo yung water from point A to point B? Saan siya dadaan? Ano yung mga dadaanan niya? Ano yung mga maapektuhan? Saan siya galing? At saan siya lalabas from outside of the site? Okay? Okay, so ano to? In a nutshell, when we look at hydrology, we're talking about stuff that comes in, stuff that comes out, and stuff that stays within. Okay? Tawag dito material and energy flow. Okay? So we can think of this as pasahan ng resources. And in this case, the resource is water. Okay? So sinasabi natin na may system boundary yung isang system. Etong boundary na to, it's not just physical, it is also systemic, okay? Ang Marikina City, ito palagi kong example, na sila yung pinaka na-epektado ng online noong 2009. Okay, I'm sure some of you naabutan nyo yun, malala. So, simula nun, they vowed to always clean up their streets, to always make sure na walang basura. Kasi inisip nila, if linisin natin yung basura, hindi na babahain. But guess what? Binabaha pa rin. Although malinis yung tubig, binabaha pa rin, malinis ang Marikina, pero they're still pretty much affected by these floods. Which means, hindi sa kanila yung problema. Na-solve nila yung problem on their side, but the problem of this hydrological issue is systemic. Saan ba galing yung tubig? Galing siya sa Antipolo, where a lot of mining and deforestation activities are occurring. And then you're gonna wonder why may baha sa Marikina kahit na they're doing all they can. Because we cannot say na administrative boundaries are the same as yung boundaries ng nature, okay? Nature does not respect human-imposed boundaries, okay? May sariling kembot ang nature, okay? Nature has its own system boundaries, whether it's the watershed or the ecoregion, mga ganon. Okay, in this case, watershed ang pag-usapan natin. Okay? Sige. Alright? So, and the thing about this is, yung input or output ng isang storage, isang system can become an input of another. So this means, so dito na pupasok yung usapan na na yung isang water body can transfer water to another water body na will transfer to another water body and such. No. Okay, so this output of one stock can become the input of another. Ano ba itsura ng pag-hydrology? Ayun. And it can be convoluted pala like this. So may tatawag because once this interaction occurs na maraming pasahan and makita natin na may mga properties na hindi lang makikita sa individual na mga systems, but individual na components, but rather from the whole system. Tawag doon as emergent properties. And ang tawag sa ganitong concept is holons. Dito galing yung word na holistic. Sabi natin holistic, all-encompassing. We are looking at everything. So, when it comes to nature-based solutions, we have to be holistic. Hindi pwede, paglagay ka lang ng bioswale sustainable na agad. Because guess what? Sustainability is an emergent property. Okay? Marami kasi sabi, etong paver na to, itong plant na to is sustainable. Ganon. Well, I'm here to tell you. It's gonna be blasphemous. A tree is not sustainable. Ano pinagsasabi ni Prof. Ina? But yes, a tree is not sustainable. Kasi just because you put a tree in a project site does not mean na sustainable na siya. In fact, it could even make things worse. For example, maglagay ng puno sa tuktok ng building, parang sa green roof, ganon, or sa amenity area. Paano mo dilagay yung puno? You have to bring water up, which means you need a pump, which means you need electricity. So that's one source of carbon emissions na, yung electricity, because here in the Philippines, we burn coal to generate electricity. How do we get fertilized? How do we make sure na hindi siya mamamatay sa pests? You have to put a lot of pesticide, diba? How do we make sure na they get the nutrients? Kasi limited lang yung soil doon, kasi mababaw lang actually yung soil na pwede sa taktok ng roof. Otherwise, it's gonna be too heavy. We have to augment it with lots of fertilizer para maging lush na rin kasi yung gusto ng mga developer. Pero iba rin yung kanyang environment doon kasi mainit, masyadong malakas yung hangin, very desiccating, okay, maraming moisture, kailangan lots of water. So that's a lot of water resources. So sadly nakita nyo, putting a tree on a green roof or rooftop garden is not so sustainable because of the mga strings attached, kumbaga, everything else. This is what I mean when we have to think holistically. Okay? This means that putting a bioswale, green garden, rainwater catchment system, kasya lang. Hindi yun basta sustainable. We have to think in the context of the big picture. That's why we have to understand the hydrology of the site and of the region of our project site. Whether you're in the construction industry or development industry or whichever industry for the betterment of the people. Okay? So if you look at the water cycle, if you think about it, the clouds storage yan. Stuff that comes in through evaporation. And then magsistay dyan sa clouds. And then magka-condense siya or maulan. It's yun yung yung flow out ng water ng resource na yon into the mountains, the river. That's another input. And pupunta sa rivers, that's one storage. Or they pupunta siya sa mga stream, sa lakes, sa mga under aquifers, groundwater, storage yun yan. Sa ocean, storage yun yan. Pupunta rin siya sa loob ng halaman. Storage yun yan. Sa mga tao, storage yun ng water. So actually, papasahan lang tayo ng water. And if we understand this, then we will be able to better integrate yung nature-based solutions. Okay? So in other words, if ang pinag-usapan na dito is, where is the water being stored? If water is here, then water is not there. That's actually the basic principle of nature-based solution in the context of flood control. Okay? So, for example, this. As I mentioned, water can stay in plants. If water is in the plant, then water is not on the ground. If water is going into the ground, kaya niya mag-percolate down into the groundwater, then water is not not flooding. Okay? Are you seeing the pattern here, everyone? Dyan sa Zoom, dyan sa Facebook Live, are you seeing the pattern? Stuff that is here is not there. Diba? It makes sense kasi hindi tayo pwede mag-duplicate ng matter. Diba? Conservation of mass, ganun. So in other words, water that is detained somewhere else is water that is not contributing to floods. Okay? So pag sabi ng detain, ano ba ibig sabihin? Kung dinetain ako kasi kasi for whatever crime, siguro nag-jaywalk ako. Hinold ako for 24 hours, detain yun. Kasi kung hinold ako for more than 24 hours, hindi yan detention. Kinulong na ako nun. Pero ang detain, papakuha mo eventually. Okay? And in this case, yan ginagawa sa water. The water, instead of flooding the streets, the houses, the places where people are, instead, it goes to this detention pond where it collects and then slowly it's released through percolation sa groundwater or through evaporation or masisip-sip ng plants, intake nila sa kanilang system and then they're going to use it and then they're going to evapotranspirate or they're going to breathe it out, kumbaga. So you can see here, nagpapasahan lang ulit from one storage to another. Water that is in these compartments, in these storage units, is water that is not contributing to flood in our society. Okay? So, there are nature-based solutions, especially for flood control. I'm focusing talaga sa flood control because it is a very pertinent issue, especially in the context of the Philippines. And isa sa mga pinupush natin ay for Metro Manila and all cities that us youths live in, we are pushing for them to be sponge cities. Now, when we say sponge city, it's actually a term proposed first by landscape architect Kong Jiang-yu in 1995 during his doctoral dissertation. So mga lakit nawa, he passed away recently. So when a sponge city is an urban area with substantial sorry about that. My dog is a barky girl. Okay, an urban area with substantial nature or green features that can absorb water in the event of flooding. Okay, so city na maraming mga nature-based solutions, kumbaga, which allows the city to function as a sponge rather than as a swimming pool that facilitates floods, but rather it channels floods so that it doesn't affect the lives of people. Okay, and the best example for me and for many people is Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park in Singapore. Okay, so Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park is interesting because this was designed so that to be flooded. Okay, parang isip natin, talaga, ang park, kung isipin nyo, Rizal Park, sasadyain nating bahain, parang sacrilegious. But if you think about it, if we design the edges of rivers to be a landscape, a park, then we have to design with nature. Kung ang nature niya ng river ay babahain siya every now and then because of the ebb and tides, the natural cycles of the river, then we should be in implementing nature-based solutions. Kailangan i-take into account natin itong flooding. Which is why dito sa Bishan Amokyo Park, sinasadya siyang i-flood. Okay? So makita niya pure green space to and parang nga siyang kidneys, kumbaga, ng Singapore. And sobrang successful nito na pinupunta ng mga tao pag hindi baha. And then pag umuulan, bumabaha. Well, dito siya bumabaha, hindi sa mga sa mga apartment complex na yan. And it's so successful na actually may mga sea otters dito na wild. Yes, mga otters. They actually live here. Cute nga parang parang kung may cats of may cats of BGC tayo dito sa Pilipinas, sila merong the otters of Bishan Amokyo Park. Ganun. Okay. Now, we've discussed na definitely we have to design nature-based solutions, we have to implement them properly, we have to think holistically. But as youth, anong magagawa natin? Now, how can the youth contribute to designing nature-based solutions, to implementing nature-based solutions, to promoting nature-based solutions? Paano tayo papasok dyan? Kasi I'm pretty sure na marami na sa atin, marami sa inyo especially, na sabihan na, ay hindi, bata pa lang kayo, marami pa kayong kanin na kakainin, mga ganun. Pero I'd like to quote a boomer tito or cousin of mine. Ano ba siya? Cousin, sorry. Boomer cousin of mine, na sabi niya, in the context of his kid na 16-year-old na, like, oo, maraming kanin na kakainin. Like, papunta ka pa lang, pabalik ka na. Pero kasi iba yung pinupuntahan nila, referring to the kids. And that is true. With the onset of all the technological advancements and the very unique challenges of our environment these days, with all the climate change, medyo iba ang ating dinadanas ngayon as the youth. We can even say now we have it worse compared to the previous generations. Na para bang the previous generations pulled the ladder up from us para we can't get up, which is sad. But this just shows that we are dealing definitely with unprecedented issues. So it's okay to feel na sometimes parang daya. But this does not mean that you can't do anything about it. Okay? Do not think of what you can't do, but what can you do? Okay? Now, ano bang madadala ng youth dito sa table? What can you as the youth bring to the table in promoting and implementing nature-based solutions? Well, first, you bring open-mindedness. You also bring fresh perspectives, and you bring greater empathy into the table in discussions of nature-based solutions. Okay, isa-isa natin. Okay, the youth are open-minded and they are receptive to new knowledge and experiences. Okay, maybe it's something about the way our brains develop na mas plastic, mas neuroplastic daw ang mga bata. So they're more receptive to new ideas and such. And when I was 20s, ganun, definitely I was very receptive. Although I'd like to say na I'm also still receptive now to new ideas. It's a bit harder because may mga nakagawian na nandun yung comfort in the things that are known. But the youth, they're more daring. They are more open-minded to new ideas. They are more open to learn new things. And this means kailangan pangandakan nyo yan when you come in table. Maybe you don't have the experience of years of technical expertise, but you do have open-mindedness. So you can, with open-mindedness, you can bring in fresh perspectives, new ideas in finding new and potentially more effective solutions, thinking outside the box. Okay, like I said, older people, even the millennials, may naging mas conservative, not in the bad way, but more conservative in more of a conserving way. Na parang we know what works, so why would we do something else? Because fears of change, ganon. But you as the youth, you can bring fresher perspectives that can potentially result in a better solution to whatever problems we face, such as nature-based solutions. In fact, we can say nature-based solutions are a product of these young minds nga. Okay? And the youth, you have greater empathy because you're more open-minded, you understand different walks of life much better. Okay? You may not be as well-traveled as older people with more years of experience, but you are definitely more understanding of the lives and experiences of other people, no matter who they are or how they identify. Okay? Now, as the youth, use this to your advantage. This open-mindedness, being able to provide fresh perspectives and having greater empathy for people. Use this to your advantage, so to implement, to help push forth the implementation and promotion of nature-based solutions. But of course, you're not the leader of a nation. You're not the when by that I mean you're not a president. You're not a high level ganun. So you don't have that kind of control. Okay, but again, do not think of what you cannot do, but think of what you can do. Which is why we have to think globally, but act locally. So look around you. Look kahit nga dyan sa family nyo. Nature-based solution, maybe the act of composting, which a lot of people, experts say na is actually parang gateway na not gateway drug, I don't like to use the word drug, but parang gateway na activity to help people become more into sustainable practices. So maybe you can start in your own family or in your own community, amongst your friend group, diba? You can act locally, but thinking in the big picture, okay? So holistic tayo mag-isip, but we act in the place that we are able to have direct influence on, okay? Which may be small, but imagine if these small initiatives band together. Eventually, it's gonna hit critical mass and it'll cause a lot of societal change, which I'm excited for. Okay. Now, ano bang karapatan ko magsalita nito? Parang itong trentahin na babae tang nito, wala na siya sa kalendaryo. Well, first of all, youthful pa naman yung face ko. But more importantly, I was also once a youth. Okay? So let me tell you about my experience as a youth na wanted really to push forth yung nature-based solutions and ecological landscape design. Pero I was shafted by a lot of the older people who were stuck in their old ways. So my ideas, yes, they were often shut down by older professionals in the industry. So mayroon ng project dati na inandled when I was a newbie na landscape architect. Okay? This was a condominium project. Okay? Ngayon, ito yung nakakatawa. Nagtayo sila ng condo dun sa Cavite, sa isang palayan sa Cavite. And now, ang solution nila, try na solusyonan, ay yung pagbabaha doon. Kasi bakit binabaha daw yung site na pintayo nila? Ang site nila na former rice paddy. Site is a former rice field. Magtayo tayo ng building. Bakit kami binabaha? Diba? Parang ano no, parang kulang sa aruga, no? Kulang sa nutrients nung lumalaki, kulang sa vitamins. Pero ang ginawa ko, nagsuggest ako na sige, gamit tayo ng rain garden. But first of all, I was 22 years old or 24, I forgot, around young 20s. So, imagine this little kid, this young bagets na nagsalita. Sabihin, ito, gawa tayo ng rain garden, kasi channel natin lahat ng water dito. All the professionals look at me, parang, okay, sana kung parang sabihin, no, that won't work, gano'n, na it shut down verbally, gano'n. Okay pa yan eh. Pero hindi, tinignan lang nila ako na parang tanga. Parang, sino ka para magsalita? Marami ka pang kakainin. Papunta ka pa lang, pabalik na kami. So, hiyang-hiya ako nun. And I felt na, alam ko naman na valid yung solution ko. Valid yung propose kong idea. But nobody took me seriously. Kasi bata pa ako. Wala kang alam. And it was very disheartening. Pero, hindi ako nagpatalo doon. Na-realize ko, what will make people give me respect? What will make people listen to me? Well, this drove me to, how I'd say it, level up. Na-realize ko, I need to level up. Hindi ako pwedeng nandito lang na forever na rank and file employee. So, pumunta akong UPLB. Doon ako nag-MS Environmental Science. Okay? Before that, I was actually listening to podcasts about ecology, watching ecology videos, reading ecology books kasi doon na-realize ko lang actually sa board exams namin landscape architecture na gusto ko pala ecology. Not for a lack of listening nung undergrad, but because nung kami yata yung last na batch na yung program ng curriculum ay walang ecology class. Which is ironic kasi sa board exam, may ecology na exam. So, Basically, parang yun yung crash course ko sa ecology. Before that, ang naging gusto ko yung plant material. So actually, na-memorize ko yung mga scientific names. Lahat ng landscape architect, memorize yung scientific names ng plants na ginagamit sa landscape. Pero dito talaga napamahal sa ecology kasi nga, it's like problem solving. I like the problem solving aspect through design of environments. Kasi, like I always say, landscape architects design ecosystems. And dito ang tuwa. But narealize ko, nakulang yung information ko. And not to mention, I did not have the credentials. Parang hindi ko naman pwede sabihin doon sa ka-meeting ko na, nakinig ako sa podcast about nature-based solutions. Kaya, I know what I'm saying. So, punta akong LB para mag-aral ng Masters of Science in Environmental Science. I met a lot of wonderful people, a lot of wonderful figures. I learned a lot of wonderful things, discovered a lot of things about myself. Okay. Including me being transgender, which is very interesting. That's for another story, another seminar. Okay, invite nyo na lang ulit ako. I also started a blog, which is now a new YouTube channel called Decosis. Disclaimer, hindi pa ako nag-upload in like 5 months. I'm busy sa work. But before, I write my ideas sa blog. Okay? Maybe the professionals at the technical coordination meeting, maybe they won't take me seriously. But a lot of people will still listen to me and my ideas as a youth with big ideas on ecology, on environmental science, on nature-based solutions. So I put myself out there through blogging noon. Hindi na siya ina-update kasi na-realize ko, well, hindi maraming tao hindi mahilig magbasa ng long text. But to be fair, I'd say maayos ang magsulat, very readable. Pero people prefer videos. Yun na lang. So na-realize ko, okay, lipat ako YouTube. Isip ko nga lipat ako TikTok, but that's another story. But the point is, put yourself out there. Okay? Let yourself be heard. If people don't want to listen to you, then find people who will. Put yourself out there. You will find people who will listen to you and be receptive to your ideas. And through all this, I finally got to live my dream of teaching and about sustainable landscapes in the UP College of Architecture. Okay? Dati ang pinaka natatap ko lang na dream ko is when I give lectures, mga review lectures sa mga classmates ko habang nag-review kami for compre exam. Those were fun. Mag-ask kami each other ng questions, may onting lecture, tapos in between habang nag-rest, nanonood yung kasama ko ng twice na music video. But the point is, this decision of mine to level up led to me being able to achieve yung parang position ko or situation, yung this state of mind in life where I'd say na I'm definitely more happy, more satisfied than I was 10 years ago. That is 100% sure that I can assure you. I'm definitely much happier now than I was 10 years ago. A lot can happen in 10 years. Okay. But the important thing is you start young. Have initiative when you're young to level up yourself. Okay. So shoot your shot. Allow yourselves to make mistakes. Okay. I made a lot of mistakes. Diyos ko. Kung alam niyo lang. Minsan gusto ko ibaon yung ulo ko sa ilalim ng lupa. But magpursige tayo. Allow ourselves to make mistakes, shoot our shots, and let your voices be heard. Okay? Whether through vlogging, whether through communicating your ideas to your colleagues, to your professors, to your bosses and such. Just let yourself be heard. Huwag kayo mahiya. And always ask yourselves, what can you do? Again, don't dwell on what you cannot do because otherwise mag-end up tayo sa anxiety. Sabi na tayo tinatawag na environmental anxiety na parang with all this crap going around in our world right now, climate change, environmental degradation, parang ang dali ma-dishearten. Pero huwag niyo isipin kung ano hindi niyo kaya. Isipin niyo what can you do in the context of the big picture. Okay? And with that ends my talk on how the youth, can promote and implement nature-based solutions in our own way. And thank you, everyone. And I hope you learned a lot. And
Ayun po. Maraming salamat po, Architect Selena Balbina Santos po. And we really appreciate po yung mga information and experience po na binahagi niyo po sa amin. And sa akin po, super na-appreciate ko po yung pag-share niyo ng experience and also yung information, lalo na po dun sa introduction niyo na about sa rainwater catchment system kasi hindi po ako familiar din doon. And medyo nagdalawang isip pa po ako dun kung NBS po ba talaga siya or not, pero ayun po, nalaman ko na siya ngayon, alam ko na po
Ayan.
ngayon, ayun po. And then, actually tumatak din po sa'kin yung sinabi niyo na, "Don't think about what you cannot do, but what can you do?" Kasi siyempre talaga mag-o-overthink ka rin talaga if kakayanin mo ba yung something. Kasi nga, especially yung ano po, na-experience niyo po as a youth din po, I really can relate po dun sa sinabi niyo na 'pag may someone na older po, parang medyo inaano po yung mga youth lalo na po 'pag magbibigay ng opinyon na ang dami pa po naming need i-experience 'pag magbibigay kami ng, opinion and that really and yung mga sinabi niyo po is talagang relate po ako. Yung experience niyo po na, merong someone older than you na medyo inano ka po. So, parang, gano'n po talaga yung na-experience ng mga youth ngayong, nga sa panahon ngayon po. And, dun po sa sinabi niyo na, "Let your voice be heard" po, allow yourself to make mistake and dun po natin ma-realize na it's okay to make mistakes siyempre kasi hindi naman po tayo perfect as a person or as a, tao nga po, ayan po. Kasi hindi naman lahat po tayo nagkakamali and, ayun po napakaimportante rin na, yung boses po natin is ipapakita natin, ipaparinig po natin lalo na sa mga nangyayari po ngayon sa ating bansa. Makikita rin po natin na napakadami pong issue na lumalabas na po ngayon and it's really important na, magkaroon tayo ng boses at ilabas po natin yung saloobin natin kasi, magiging helpful po siya sa kung ano yung na-experience natin and ayun po, maraming salamat po kasi ang dami ko pong natutunan ngayong araw.
I'm glad you learned a lot from this. Ayan. I hope everyone was also inspired kahit papaano.
Opo.
Ayan po, maraming salamat Tina, aking partner, sa iyong napakagandang opinions. Wow. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Selena, sa napakagandang talakayan ngayong hapon. Sigurado akong marami tayong natutuhan at may mga katanungan ng ating mga tagapagpakinig.
Ngunit, mga paalala lamang bago tayo dumako sa ating talastasan, maaari kayong magtanong sa pamamagitan ng pag-on po ng ating mic at magpa-recognize sa ating moderator o mag-type sa ating Zoom chat box. Para sa mga nasa FB Live naman po, ay pwede po tayong mag-comment sa ating comment section.
At habang nag-iisip ang ating mga tagapanood ng kani-kanilang mga katanungan, nais kong tawagin ang napakasipag at masigasig na Vice President for Internal Affairs ng PAES na walang iba kundi si Kent Asaya G. Maghari mula sa Cavite State University para sa ating talastasan.
Hello, ayan. Maraming salamat, Tina at Z, and thank you so much po, Ma'am Selena, for that wonderful discussion. Ayan, so again, para po sa ating mga participants, you may type your question sa ating chat box, and para naman po sa mga participants natin sa Facebook Live, you may comment it on our comment section. And while waiting, siguro unahin na po natin yung mga ipinadalang tanong mula sa ating registration form. Ayan, meron po tayong question mula sa isang student from Camarines Norte State College. Sa gitna ng mabilis na urbanisasyon at banta ng climate change, paano po ninyo nakikita ang papel ng blue-green infrastructure bilang tulay para sa mas maayos na mental health ng mga mamamayan at mas ligtas na tirahan para sa mga hayop sa ating mga lungsod?
Good question. Well, syempre, when we implement nature-based solutions, yun nga, we have to consider nature. We have to design with nature, which means kasama na ang nature doon yung mga organisms, okay? So this means when we design nature-based solutions, usually kasi sa traditional, speaking from the perspective of a landscape architect, traditional landscape architecture, it's more of parang aesthetics, ganun. But the thing is, it's not just aesthetics. it's you're not just designing for people, for people. You're designing for the environment. Your clients are not just the people, but also the animals, the plants, the organisms. And when we think of when we pag inasikaso natin yung landscape, pag design namin yung landscape, we do not just think of what color of plant or ganon. We think of what water requirements ang kailangan niya. Will it fit here? And will this plant be able to support other flora and fauna na magfa-facilitate siya ng ecological succession, will be able to support immigration of new populations, and in a big picture scale, if we put this park here, will it become literal na or figurative na tulay or titawag nating landscape corridor? Will it be able to facilitate yung movement from one habitat patch to another? Kasi pwedeng mangyari isolated sila, fragmented eh. Kunwari may malaking highway. Let's say maglagay tayo ng some sort of park na parang ano siya. Parang pwede sila magpiko, kumbaga, from one habitat to another. Which allows for better parang interlinking ng habitats para mas maging resilient sila against extinction. Ayan. Now, in terms of mental health, well, usually pag pag-usapan kasi yung landscape ecology, itong mga interconnectivity of green spaces, parang inisip natin, okay, para interconnected habitats ng organisms, ng animals. But guess what? What are humans? The Homo sapiens. We are also animals. We are also part of this interconnected network. And pagdating sa landscape planning, sa regional planning, ganun, hindi lang basta maglagay ng park, okay na. Kailangan may park na connected by let's say, a streetscape or a long strip of greenery, whether sa katabi ng street or along a river. Siya yung magkoconnect physically sa mga different parks. So isipin nyo makakalakad kayo from one park to another, going through that green corridor. Okay? And since mas maraming interconnected, mas maraming parks, even if maliliit lang siya, the fact is, if there are so many parks that within 5 minutes you can go, everyone has access to a park. Then everyone has access to the ecosystem services provided by that park. Ecosystem services such as improved mental health, improved physical health. Bakit mag-improve? Because you have a park where you can rest your brain after work or studies, a place where you can jog around or engage in physical activity, or the simple fact of commuting home instead of yung makipagtagisan ka sa jeep, sa mga trike, sa mga MRT, ganun. You can walk home, and the walk home will be pleasant because of the greenery that provides clean air, clean environment, natural shade. So all of these together, like, it's such a small thing, pero actually yun yung number one na issue na kita ngayon sa Metro Manila in terms of infrastructure. We have too many tree, we have too many concrete, we have too many green infrastructure. We do not have enough blue-green infrastructure. Okay? And inisip ng tao, ay, wala tayong pera din. Meron. Actually, mas mura nga ang blue-green infrastructure. Mas mura ang nature-based solution. Eh nga lang, dahil mas mura, mas onting kickback. So, but yes, definitely, inherent na sa pag-promote ng nature-based solutions ang pag-promote ng healthy public open space.
Thank you po. Sobrang interdisciplinary and holistic din talaga yung approach pagdating sa landscape architecture. And ayan, meron po tayong another question from the Facebook Live and consolidated na rin po to sa mga nasa registration form. Since mukhang naging interesting po yung landscape architecture for some participants natin, ang question po ay, ano po may papayo nyo or advice yung kaya nyong ibigay sa mga gustong mag-start sa ganitong field?
I'm assuming na mga senior high na gusto mag-LA. Ayan. Okay. Allow me to indoctrinate you into the profession of landscape architecture. Okay, so ang landscape architecture, yun nga, it's like architecture but instead of designing buildings or interior designing yung mga interior ng building, landscape architects design yung mga nasa labas. Kasama na ng nature-based solutions. Ngayon, we also design other landscapes like mga zoo, mga resort, yung mga amenity areas sa mga condo, landscape architect yun. Pero pati mga parking lot na not just parking lot but ecological, sustainable parking lots, landscape architect yun. Okay? Pero paano maging landscape architect? Well, first, identify nyo yung gusto nyong pasukan. So, na university or program. So may apat right now sa Philippines that are offering na landscape architecture. That's University of the Philippines, yun yung pinakaunang nagbigay. Bulacan State University. And then sa Visayas area, we have two. University of San Agustin and University of San Carlos. Yung San Agustin, yun yung pinakabago. But they're established na para to provide a proper instruction. Okay? Of course, I'm from UP. So syempre, biased ako. Join kayo sa UP. Pero they're all good schools and all the professors naman really want to help promote the profession and help instruct new students to become better stewards of the land, kumbaga. So yeah, so tingin yung admission requirements dun. Shifting is always an option. And if ever, let's say, let's say, mayroon ako na-meet dati, STI na fourth year na college. Pero I think kinuha niya ComSci, I forgot. Pero gusto niya mag-LA and subaybayan daw niya ako. Ayun, so nirecommend ko na yung diploma program or GD+, which is a bridging program para makapag-masters or Masters of Tropical Landscape Architecture sa UP din naman. Okay, so there are many options. Okay, you just have to do your research and siguro have good grades para mas makapasok. Ganun. Ayun, excited to see you all if ever.
Ayan, may binigay na yung mga universities na nag-o-offer ng landscape architecture. So, ayan, it's up to you to decide whether to pursue that path or not. Ayan, thank you so much po, Ma'am Selena. And another question from our YesO participants. Balik po tayo dun sa mga solutions na kayang i-provide ng youth. Paano po daw makatutulong ang school organizations katulad ng YesO para makapag-contribute sa community without needing so much fund?
Usapang funding. Okay. Actually, may ganyan issues rin sa local org namin ng students of class. And nagagawa nila, they tie up with the national org, which is PALA, yung Philippine Association of Landscape Architects. So may national org na katali. So siguro ang suggestion ko ay, yun nga, again, let's harken back to what I mentioned earlier. Do not think of what you cannot do and think of what you can do. Wala kayong funding. But what do you have? Manpower, dedication, youthful energy na kaya nyo magpuyat. Also, technical skills actually. Yung mga boomers na yan na nahihirapan magbukas ng Zoom ganyan. Don't expect them na kaya nila yung mga Google Sheets ganun, Canva. Pero kaya nyo. That's what you can offer. And exchange, you offer them their services and they'll probably meron na silang project yung mga organizations na to. Maybe mga organizations, mga Philippine Native Plant Enthusiasts, mga Biodiversity Conservation Society of the Philippines, ganon, or ano pa ba mga NVSI na national. Siguro mga mga national orgs, professional orgs na recognized by the PRC. Kung ano mga profession, maybe sa mga chemical engineers, sa mga ano pa ba? Mga nursing ganon, healthcare workers ganon. Get in touch with them. Express your interest. Siguro try nyo to ride on their existing projects. Kasi we can offer these manpower, these skills, technical skills na sana yung mga kabataan. In exchange, let us be part of this initiative. Diba? And usually they'll be more than happy. Kasi nga, ang kulang naman sa kaming mga tanders, maraming pera, may pera, pero walang manpower kasi busy sa pagtatrabaho sa kanya-kanyang day jobs. So, ayan. So, I guess yun yung one way to be able to help engage in nature-based solutions. Makipag-tie up kayo sa mga mas established na organizations and professionals.
Okay po. And it is a win-win situation for both parties. All right, and I believe this will be our last question for today's session, and this is somehow technical side na ng webinar natin. This is a question po from an undergrad student from Central Luzon State University. Paano po natin matutukoy kung alin sa mga nature-based solutions ang pinakaangkop o perfect fit sa isang particular na lugar? Meron po ba tayong pamantayan o mga criteria sa pagpo-propose ng mga ganitong klaseng solutions?
Good idea. Good point. Okay. So pagdating sa design, meron kasabihan There is no right or wrong design, only effective and ineffective design. Okay? And we should think of these nature-based solutions na mga concepts like rainwater catchment, detention pond. Think of them as parts of your toolkit. Okay? Ang pagiging linear thinker or yung mga simple lang mag-isip, isipin, dahil bumabaha dito, lagay tayo ng biosoil. Hindi ganun. You have to understand yung function ng each nature-based solution na in your toolkit. For example, bioswale is to channel water from one point to another. But then, since you're channeling water from one point to another, what is that first point? What is that second point? And then pwede isipin, okay, from one point, which is yung sabihin nating rain garden, siya yung tawag ko then channel niya through the bioswale, and then dalhin niya sa detention pond. Diba? And then from the detention pond, sa pupunta? Pwede niyang i-channel sa maybe constructed wetlands or whatever, or sa river. Ganun. So, think of them as parts of your toolkit. Okay? And understand what each one is used for. Don't think na lagay mo lang just because. Okay? So, I guess yun yung how I tackle this question. And
Thank you so much po. So we need to assess the effectivity of a solution if it is applicable sa isang lugar or not. Thank you so much
ayan.
po, Ma'am Sid. Do you have any follow-up message po or gustong sabihin before we end our question and answer portion?
Well, yes. Everyone, youth, tandaan ninyo na, again, you may not be able to do everything, but you can do something. Okay? Huwag kayong magpatinag sa mga pagsasabi ng mga matatanda. Okay? Because they're also human and they're probably jaded rin. Okay? As the youth, you have to be the beacon of hope. Kasi nga sabi nga, kabataan ng pag-asa ng kinabukasan, di ba? So, act like it. Okay? Which isn't to pressure you, but it's more of to inspire you na you can do something. Okay? You may eventually kasi you're gonna become the old ones. Okay? As I was once the youth, and now I am one of the titas, diba? Kayo rin. But hopefully by that point, you were able to make the most of your youth, make the most of what you can offer despite the lack of money, lack of experience. But what you give instead is your enthusiasm and initiative. And then you're gonna be set for your life in the future once you take initiative as young people. Ayun, that's all from me.
Alright. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Selena, and sa lahat ng nag-participate sa ating talastasan. I now yield the floor back to our host. Thank you.
Ayun po. Sa tingin ko yun lamang po ang ating mga katanungan. Naway po nasagot ng ating tagapagsalita ang mga katanungan at ating itong naunawaan.
Ayan. Maraming salamat po muli, Architect Serena. Lubos po kaming nagagalak na pinaunlakan ninyo po kami ngayong hapon sa kabila ng inyong mga gawain. Bilang pasasalamat, iginagawad ng PAES ang Certificate of Appreciation para sa inyong pagdalo at pagbabahagi ng kaalaman. Let me read the citation. This Certificate of Appreciation is hereby given to Architect Selena Balbino Santos, MSc, in recognition of their valuable contribution as research speaker in Pandayan Youth-led Nature-Based Solution, given this 28th day of February 2026, care of UPLB School of Environmental Science and Management, Laguna, Philippines. Signed of our President and Founder, Kendrick Michael Faronilo, MSc. Congrats po! Maraming salamat po muli!
Thank you po, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Ayan po. Ngayon naman, sa puntong ito ng ating programa, nais po namin kilalanin ng mga mapaaralan at organisasyong naging katuwang po namin sa tagumpay ng aktibidad na ito. Ang kanilang dedikasyon at suporta ay may malaking bahagi ng ating advokasya para sa kalikasan at kabataan. Kaya naman ang Philippine Association of Environmental Science Students ay buong galak po na nagbibigay ng Certificate of Partnership. And let me read the citation po. This certificate of partnership is hereby given to blank in recognition for their valuable contribution as advocacy partner in Pandayan Youth-led Nature-Based Solution given this 28th day of February 2026, care of UPLB School of Environmental Science and Management, Laguna, Philippines, signed by Kendrick Mico Farinello, MSc, President and Founder of PAES. This certificate is given to Bagumbayan National High School, Balagtas National Agricultural High School, Luis Y. Ferrer Jr. West National High School, Ramona Estrellana High School, San Jose City National High School, at Tarlac National High School. Ang sertipikong ito po ay simbolo ng aming taos-pusong pasasalamat sa inyong patuloy na pakikisa at suporta po sa advokasya ng PAES. Kaya maraming salamat po sa aming mga YESO advocacy partners.
Ayan. Kaya naman, para sa karagdagang anunsyo, amin muling hinihikayat ang mga lokal o organisasyon na interesado maging parte ng PAES. Lumapit lamang at mag-message sa Facebook page ng PAES upang malaman ang proseso para maging miyembro ng ating organisasyon. At syempre, para sa mga susunod na aktibidad sa PAES, ikinatutuwa naming i-anunsyo sa inyo na gaganapin muli ang JEB 2026 Mentorship Program at PAES 5th Anniversary sa buwan ng Marso. Naku, excited na ako dito,
Sobrang
partner.
excited na ako dyan. Kaya naman, muli po naming pinapaalala sa ating mga participants na ang ating evaluation form po ay bukas lamang mula ngayon hanggang bukas ng 8:00 ng gabi. At bilang pagtatapos, naniniwala po ako na ang kabataan ay may mahalagang papel sa paghubog ng makakalikasang solusyon. Kaya naman bilang kabataan, tayo'y maging susi ng pagbabago para sa ating kalikasan at kinabukasan. Kaya naman sama-sama tayong kumilos para sa mas luntiang bukas. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga dumalo at nakinig. Sana ay marami kayong natutunan. Muli ako si Martina Victoria Cabrera.
At ako naman si Serena Jane P. Barrios, ang inyong host sa Pandayan 2026.
Daghang salamat sa tanan.
Mimingat kayo palagi sa
Susunod
susunod.
muli. Thank you po. Maraming salamat po.
Po.
And thank you, everyone. Yeah. Good evening to everyone.